Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Otaku Heaven coming at you with another anime episode review. Today, I'll be reviewing the episode 7 of the Phantasy Star Online 2 Anime Adaption. Now, the theory that I had last um last review was pretty close to accurate. Now, a lot of things happen in this one. Mika Kono basically got trapped inside of the game somehow. She was absorbed. What happened was she was playing a mission in a field, and towards the end of the field, she got to the boss. She was pretty much ripping everything. She had some pretty awesome powers, but proved to be not. They proved to be useless against the boss. The boss basically just tanked all of her attacks, pretty much deflecting all of them, as if he had a shield that was impenetrable, at least by her attacks. His level was far beyond hers. How he got in that field is beyond me because she's probably been in a field around the same level as her. But anyhow, basically what happened, she lost the battle, and then something came out of her game machine. It looked like a big haunting black image, sort of like an agent if you're seeing that right now. But anyway, it basically tried to pull her into the game is what I thought at first. Moving along into the episode, we got to see them meet up with two guys inside of the game. The two people that they basically went to the sauna with, the people that own the sauna, and two more. The other two people that came up said that basically this has been happening all over. People have been going missing, vending machines basically moving, all kinds of crazy things happening within the human world. And Suzuki has been even more quiet about what's going on than ever before, more secretive. And we found out while they were in the dungeon that she actually has a leader. She basically bowed her knee to her and called her ma'am, so maybe it's the queen of some place within inside of the Phantasy Star Online 2 world. Because I'm really assuming that she's just an NPC that managed to make it into the real world. Now, here's my theory on it. If you are to lose to in a field to one of the bad guys, basically the main bad guys, then there's two things that could happen. Number one, you could be knocked out with your memory basically cleared and brought into the game, sort of like Kono-san done this time. On the other hand, a doctor could escape. These are the conditions I believe that must be met for either of these things to happen. You must basically lose the dungeon, and then they can choose what they want to do as far as bringing you into the world or excavating one of their people into the real world. That's why in the last episode, Suzuki-san ran to go kill that, and in this episode, she ran to go kill it again, but this time it disappeared, and she was pretty surprised by that. So they must need some kind of human sacrifice or something, some kind of maybe mat or material that they need to make some kind of item, because they're obviously planning something treacherous. We don't know what it is yet, but throughout the whole since they found Kono-san or Mika-san in the game, Itsuki and Rina were both going over to go get her basically. And while they were trying to fight, Itsuki ran in there, balls to the wall, nothing. Didn't plan about anything. They should have really went back and got some help, then went in. But Itsuki went in there and got trapped. But he was basically being electrocuted at the same time. Rina jumps in and uses what looks to be an ultimate or at least an AoE attack to destroy most of the Darkers, but they were soon surrounded again to where she did the same thing, and Itsuki actually ran in, and right before Itsuki was able to help, another group of Darkers surrounded him. Then you see Suzuki coming here, chop up those Darkers, and then rescue Kono-san. And while she was trying to escape with Kono-san, or Mika-san, her glasses were basically chopped off by a Darker, and then on top of that, Mika has a cut on her hand. Later on, after they manage to escape that and get out of the dungeon after killing all the Darkers, we see Mika actually reappear back in real life. She's coming back to tell the student council. Rina basically realized how bad she felt about earlier of ignoring Mika because Mika was like her right hand girl before Itsuki came in, and basically she made friends with him and got really close with him. And Mika was obviously getting jealous, and when she was trying to search for him in the room, she found this thing about her favorite food because Mika in the last episode asked the president what her favorite food was. So she was obviously planning some kind of date and even asked her well, not like a date, but some kind of outing for them, and even asked her if she was free on Saturday, to which she replied no, she's not free. And basically, Rena felt really bad about um, more or less ignoring her. So she went to her room to try to help and find her, and then she saw the pamphlet with her favorite food on there. So that's obviously what they were trying to do. And the whole time, um, when she makes it back, Itsuki notices that she has a bandage on her hand. And he's like, "Do you remember what happened yesterday?" And she goes, "Yeah, I passed out in the field. I was taken to the hospital." He's like, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense." Then he notices a bandage on her hand, and then she goes, he asked Mika, "Where did you get that?" And Mika could not remember. As I said before, your memory will be blank after this, in my theory. So she would have no clue as to how she got this wound. She just knows she passed out. And then that happened. So Itsuki's asking, "Well, where did you pass out at?" And Arena stops him from asking questions and takes her back to the student council to report all of the follies that had happened while she was passing out, and then take her to the hospital. And Suzuki asks Itsuki what actually he's trying to obtain in this whole scenario. And he calls Suzuki out. Itsuki calls Suzuki out about knowing some stuff and not telling everybody about it. Obviously, there's a darker war coming to the human world, or they're gonna bring the human world into the darker war. We're just now getting into the actual main storyline of the show, I believe. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how this all plays out, and whether or not the war is actually going to take place in the human world or in the PSO2 world. It would make more sense for the PSO2 world, but it would add a little bit more fun if it actually happened in the human world, because it would place a greater emphasis on their life, making it a whole lot more important if they were to fail in the human world as opposed to the darker world. Unless they actually are consumed, and if they die in the PSO2 world, then they pretty much stay in that coma for, or passed out for life. So basically in a coma until they die. But anyway, that's my thoughts on this episode and where it may go in the future. But overall, this episode was about an 8 out of 10. It was pretty good. I liked most of the things about it. But it was, if I had to say the things that were bad about it, I just didn't hold my attention the whole time. It didn't, not that it didn't hold my attention, it didn't make me like, hell yeah, this is badass. That's why I'm going to say it's like an 8 out of 10 instead of like a 9 or 10 out of 10. Which we'll probably get some episodes like that later, but we haven't made it that far in the series to where they can deliver that type of stuff. But that's all, guys. Peace.